Good morning, everyone. We're so glad you could join us today for our Taiji Qigong 18 forums today. This program is generously sponsored by the library trustees. Before we start our program, I would like to read a brief disclaimer. While participation in this online Tai Chi and Qigong program are generally considered safe, could result in injury. Not all the material presented here are suitable for everyone. These exercises are not intended to substitute for appropriate medical care or advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any exercise program. Program creators, teachers, producers, and hosts assume no responsibility for injuries resulting from the use of this material. Without any further delay, please welcome our instructor, Anson Rathbone.
I hope you're doing okay with the weather. Seems like right now here anyway, the wind has died down some. Pretty wild night for probably many of us. Anyway, so what we're going to do today is go through the preparatory exercises that we do. So these help us to prepare for doing the Taiji Qigong 18 forms set. So there's material in these warm-ups that help us to learn some skills that we'll use when we're doing the Taiji Qigong. Okay, so we'll start with the leg. And again, if it's useful for you, you should have a chair to balance on or something else, like I can balance here. So we're going to be circling the knee, letting the whole leg just really hang down out of the hip. And circle the knee. So maybe 8-10 times in one direction. Really relax the whole leg. And then turn in the other direction. I'll turn to the side so you can maybe see a little better what I'm doing. So the knee is making a circle, but the whole leg is relaxed. We're balancing on the ball of the foot. All of our weight is on the other leg. So this leg here is very light. So we're turning from the ball of the foot. So we're kind of moving the toes, the ankle, the knee, right up into the hip. Okay, so now we can do the other side. So maybe 10 times and go the other way. Okay. So put your feet right up close together, like a number 11. Bend from the hips, the legs straight. So I'll turn to the side so you can see that. So feet are right together, bending over, and I'm gently pressing the knees back. So stretching the backs of the legs. So now we bend the knees and we turn a circle. And the circle could be maybe like a pie plate size circle. The knees don't really need to go outside of the feet. So maybe 10 times in one direction. Pause, stretch out the backs of the legs, bend the knees and turn in the other direction. Pause, press the knees back, bend the knees again, roll up through the spine. And now you can tap the heels gently on the floor. Okay. So moving up to the hip. So we're going to turn a circle with the hip. We can pretend we're standing inside of a barrel and we want to clean the rim of the barrel with our hip. Keep a nice lift from the top of the head. Everything else relaxes down. Okay, now we can go in the other direction. Okay. So remember last time we talked about the quad squat? So that's a bend where we're bending at the inguinal crease, kind of folding at the hip. So we bend, straighten up, and then go to neutral. Bend, straighten up, go to neutral. So we're bending the knees maybe a little bit, but we're making an effort to keep the knees from going forward. So we're not doing this. See how my knees are going forward out over my feet? So you want to keep the knees in place, and you're allowing your behind to go back a little bit. And that enables you to keep the knees in place over the feet. Okay. So we'll be using this movement later when we're practicing the Taiji Qigong 18 forms. So, okay, so another skill that's good to learn is if we can imagine a pole going through the top of our head, right down through the torso, into the floor, we're going to turn around that. So you want to turn in such a way that you don't, that you're able to keep the nose and the navel in one line. So if you overturn, it becomes hard to maintain that. So you might only be turning 10, 15, 18 degrees, maybe 20, and that's fine. So you're not trying to make an effort to stretch out your whole body or anything here. You're just trying to develop the sensitivity to be able to feel yourself turning your axis without shifting your weight. So notice I'm not shifting my weight from leg to leg. That's kind of another skill. We want to get the skill where we're able to turn in place. So putting a hand on the center of your chest and a hand over your navel can help you to feel if you're twisting those two parts separate. So basically the whole torso is treated like one piece for this particular exercise. So step out a little wider. And now we're going to shift the weight side to side. So keeping level, notice I'm not going up and then down and up and down. You want to stay nice and level as you go. Hips stay level. So feel your feet, feel how the pressure changes in your feet. So when I shift my weight to my right side, I can feel the weight, the pressure on my foot increase. When I shift the weight to the other side, I can feel the weight decreasing on this side. So remember, the Taiji philosophy part of this is that of kind of gradual progressive change. The yin yang symbol with the two fish swimming after each other kind of illustrates that. So we're gradually shifting our weight from one side and then back to the other. Now we can add the turn that we did last time. We can turn a little bit as we're shifting. So again, keeping the torso as one piece. We're not twisting the spine. We're moving this whole piece as one thing as we shift the weight. Okay. So now we'll work with the shoulders and the scapula. Remember, the scapula are those triangle-shaped bones on the back behind the shoulder. So put your mind in the scapula as best you can. The shoulder series is really best done or can be done up against a wall. You can lean against a wall and you feel your shoulder blades moving around on the wall. That helps you to sensitize and to associate the movement with the feeling. But for now, if you don't have a wall handy, you can just lift the shoulders slightly up, straight up, and then lower them straight down. very relaxed. We're not trying to make a big movement here. We're just trying to feel those scapula and feel a little bit of what's happening with the muscles around those shoulder blades or scapula. Okay. So now we're going to do a movement where the scapula will kind of move apart and slide around the rib cage a little bit towards the front. And the result is that that will bring the arm with it. So the arm and the hands are kind of moving in an arc. So this area between and including the shoulder blades or scapula is very important. And most of us carry an awful lot of tension there, which then radiates up into the shoulders and into the neck, down into the arms. So this is a way we can move one part of the body and have an impact on all those other parts, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, even down into the hands. So if the scapula can move freely around through their range of motion, it will help all of those other parts of the body. So now we're going to do a circle where we bring the shoulder blades back a little bit and bring them slightly together, then raise them up, and then bring them toward the front, and they'll kind of spread apart as we move across the top, and then down the front and back. So you can kind of make a circle like that. It doesn't need to be a big movement. Make the movement smaller. If it doesn't feel comfortable, then try making the movement very small and gradually increase the size of this. If you do this regularly, I think you'll notice a real difference in the level of tension in the upper body. There's also a lot of acupuncture points between the shoulder blades that have a lot to do with the lungs, the health of the lungs and the heart. So those are all points between the shoulder blades and the spine that are used to treat those things. So now we can do the opposite. So we go up the front, across the top, down the back. And notice I'm not making a big movement here. We're maintaining our 70% rule or even less of the total movement that we could make. We're only making a small portion of that movement just to develop some sensitivity in this area. And when we bring our mind into this area, then we can feel if there's tension and we maybe can make some other adjustment to relax it. That's the point. Okay, another one that we had introduced last time is with the hands out in front, putting our minds more in the elbow. We extend the arms forward and let that movement pull the arm out from the body. So what that does is cause the scapula to slide apart and move around the rib cage and a little bit to the front. So see if you can find that. So the idea again is not to make the biggest movement possible, but to just make a slight movement that helps you to become sensitive to that. It should feel very comfortable. Okay, now we're going to do something a little bit to the side. So notice when I bring the hands up, I'm not going level even with the shoulder. I'm bringing the arms slightly to the front. And again, putting my mind into the elbow, I'm allowing, extending the arm out to pull the arm out from the body, pull the scapula out to the side a little bit. So relax. If you're feeling any tension when you do this, try making a smaller movement and try paying attention to the muscles that feel tense, and even tell them to relax. Tell those muscles to relax, relax, relax. Okay. So we can kind of shake the arms, bounce a little bit in the quad and the knees, allow them to bend and extend a little bit. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the basic standing posture. So the feet are going to be about shoulder width apart or hip width apart, something like that, comfortable. And they should be parallel. Do the best you can to make your feet parallel. So it'll be like a number 11. So this is not parallel. See what I'm doing? So the feet are splayed apart in the front. This is also not parallel. So this would be more parallel. So we have a slight bend in our knees and also a slight bend in the quad, inguinal crease. So bending slightly at the hip. So it's a little bit that like I'm about to sit down in a chair, just slightly. So we want to have a sense. You could put your fingertips, your thumbs on the tips of your ears and touch the top of your head. And where the line coming up from the tips of your ears crosses your center line, that's kind of a place called Bai Hui in Chinese, the 100 meeting place, 100 things meeting. So if you imagine there's a string tied to there, and you allow yourself to suspend from that string. So notice how that draws your neck up a little bit, extending the neck up towards that point. So notice that allows you to tuck the chin and straighten out the back of the neck a little bit. So the chin tucks, the chest sinks down, the waist kind of extends a little bit. Chest is sunk, settled, sinking the weight down through the body into the floor. The hands can hang just down by the sides of the legs. Maybe the middle fingers touching the side seam if you're wearing pants, or where the side seam would be. So just standing like this. This can be a practice in itself. This could be a standing meditation. So just try to go back through the alignments to try to feel where that you're maintaining those alignments, lifting from the top of the head, tucking the chin, extending the neck, extending the spine, allowing the tailbone to sink down to the heels, just gently. And notice how that draws the abdomen back a little bit. So you're not forcing your body to make these things. Just put yourself in the position and allow gravity to do the rest for you. And it may take time for you to get things perfect. We're not really trying to get perfect. We don't want perfect to be the enemy of what's probably good enough. So we just try to get things as good as we can do them without straining. So just allow yourself to dwell in this posture for a minute. If you feel tension developing in some particular part of your body, you can kind of go there with your mind, pay attention, notice what's happening, and then see what you can do to release the tension. Relax. And then also not doing it for too long, gradually building up the time that you do that. Okay. So I'm going to do a review of the postures we did last time in the second class. So, and then later we'll go through the postures we did in the first class. We'll do them all together. Then after this review, then I'll introduce the new postures. Okay. So last time we did circling hands. So we use this qua squat. So the hands, as we squat down, the hands come to the middle. They come up the middle as we straighten up and then go out to the sides and down. So notice how the arms rotate so that the palms are facing the body as we come in and up, and they face away from the body as the hands go out and down. And it's a gradual change from facing in to facing out. So a little cross squat to bring the hands down, straightening up to bring the hands up. So inhale as the hands are coming up, and exhale as the hands go down. Inhale, and exhale, and continue. Okay, so the next posture that we went through is something called Repulse Monkey. So the hands come up the front and one hand will drop back. So here we're using that axis turn. So imagine a pole going down through the top of the head into the floor. So we're turning around that pole and not turning so much that we twist our spine, keeping the front of the body as one piece, the torso as one piece. So you can try that a little bit again. So bring the hands up to the front and just allow one hand to drop down. And notice how that in itself tends to pull the body to turn, So keep the body, keep the top of the head lifted and turn around that axis as the hand allows you to pull down. Okay, so the full movement looks kind of like this. So after the last movement, you come up, the hands come up, one hand drops back and out. And then the elbow bends, the hand comes up over the shoulder and then straight out to the front as the other hand pulls in and drops down. So try to keep the turning that this causes your body to do to be that axis turn. So we're not turning too far. If you bring a hand all the way back, you're going to be twisting your body out of shape. So you want to bring it back and a little bit out to the side. So exhale, inhale, exhale as the hand goes out, inhale as the hand comes back, exhale as the hand goes out, inhale back. To the side. Relax the whole rest of the body as best you can. And if you can't relax some part, just notice that, geez, when I do this, my left hip feels tight. I can't turn as good on that side. So maybe try turning less on both sides, if that's the case. And over time, the body will adjust. So exhales, the hand goes out, inhales, the other one comes back, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Okay. And the next postures that we did were, the next posture was called rowing a boat. So after we finish this movement, the hands drop down, palms up, right? And then the hands come up out to the sides. So leading a little bit from the elbow, now palms are down, the hands come down. So we have a qua squat here. The forearms are parallel as best you can. Inhale as you come up. Exhale down. Inhale. So squat, we have the qua squat down and then standing up. That helps to bring the arms up. Squatting helps to bring the arms down. So this is called rowing a boat. So it's kind of like your arms are like paddles or oars. Relax the shoulders. And then see this from the side. Okay, so that's a quick review of the 3 postures we did last week. So the new postures for this week, and like I said before, we'll go through everything from the beginning after I introduce these new postures. Okay. So the next one is called lifting a ball. So you start with the feet parallel, and you're going to be here turning and shifting your weight. Okay, so try that. And again, your torso stays as one piece. You're not twisting the torso. So shifting the weight. And notice that the empty leg, the leg that doesn't have the weight, the heel comes up. Just make sure you can see that. So see how I'm lifting my heel? That helps me to really transfer the weight to this leg, but it also helps me to lift up through the body. And you want to keep the hip bone. There's a bone on the hip that comes around to the front. It's the anterior superior iliac crest. So it's that bone that's kind of at the top of the inguinal crease that you can feel. That bone is going to be aligned with the center of your kneecap, and that's going to be aligned with the center of your foot. So be careful that you're not, see what I'm doing here? I'm twisting the knee outside of the foot. No, don't do that. So you want to keep the knee in line with the foot. If that's hard to do, then don't turn it, then turn less. That will help you to keep that in line. So here I'm just turning a little bit. And if it's a problem if it's difficult when you shift the leg into that weighted leg that feels like a strain, then keep this foot down and don't shift quite so far. You can just shift and turn a little bit. So the upper body movements, so after we've done this, we stand up. And as we turn, that kind of gets this arm to swing up, palm up. So it's like we have a ball in our hand. We drop the ball bounces, we catch it and bring it up with the other hand. So that's why this is called lifting a ball. And notice that the lower hand comes beside the hip, facing palm down. This helps you to kind of make a connection down to the ground. So it's an added stability. You can kind of pretend that there's a large dog here sitting down and you have your hand on its head. So inhale as the hand comes up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. And when this hand is coming down, really try to feel like you're letting it go. I mean, you're not just dropping it, you're kind of letting it go in slow motion. Just try to let it float down, make a nice arc. So inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. And allow the arm to come out of the body a little bit. You don't want to overdo that so that you're pulling yourself off balance. But while you're lifting up through the top of the head, you want to have this arm come all the way across your center line, kind of to the diagonal. And you want to feel the scapula, if you can. Feel that this movement is kind of pulling the arm out from the body and allowing the scapula to really slide out and around to the front a little bit. So you should get, eventually, with a little practice, you might start to feel like a nice stretch over this area and into the armpit. So the armpit has a lot of lymph nodes. So this movement kind of helps to move the lymph in that part of the body. Also, this lift will create kind of a nice stretch along this side of the body here. So that sort of opens the space around the organs. So it helps to increase circulation of blood and other fluids into and out of the organs. So a lot of these movements will massage the organs in some way by changing the shape of the rib cage and so on. It helps to kind of massage the organs. And so that's good for the health of the body, the whole body. Okay, so the next posture is called carry the moon. So we've done this, the hand comes down just like as before, but then both hands go up on the other side. And as though we're taking a beach ball, and then we're bringing that down. We do a quad squat to bring that down, and then up on the other side. So there's a slight shift of weight here. So I'm slightly shifting the weight from side to side. But I'm keeping the feet flat on the floor. In this posture, I'm not lifting the heel on this side, or I'm not lifting the heel on the unweighted foot. So inhale as the hands come up, and exhale down. So you're sort of keeping that shape of holding a beach ball, the moon. So you're taking hold of the moon, taking it out of the sky, bring it down past your thighs or your knees, and then bring it back up to the other side. So inhale up, exhale down. Relax the arms as much as possible. So you really want to feel release, really feel as though the arms are really released and relaxed when you go down in this low position. Okay, so that's the new postures for today. So let's go through all of the postures we've done so far so you can see how they all fit together. So we start from our standing position. So lifting from the top of the head, chin tucks. Basically, everything relaxes down, tailbone sinks down to the heels, knees are slightly bent, slight bend at the quad. The weight is centered over the feet. So inhale, this is commencing form. So from the side, let's come up, inhaling, and exhale, elbows down, and then the wrists come down. So 6 times. So then inhale, broadening the chest, hands come out to the side and down. So notice I'm doing a little bit of a quad squat and then a standing up with each of these. So the next one is called playing with rainbows. So the hands come up as with the first two, they come overhead as though you're holding a big ball. Arms maybe open a little bit. You're looking at the lower hand. The head shifts to one side. Nice long stretch along this side, not collapsing on this side. So with this one, you inhale to one side and you exhale to the other. So the upper hand is as close to right over the top of your head as you can, comfortably without straining your shoulder. Okay, next posture, which we reviewed already today, but circling hands. So inhale as you come up, exhale down. Repulse Monkey, hands come up to the front, release the hand, drop it down, and then straight out to the front. So inhale as the hand comes up over your shoulder, exhale out to the front. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So now the hands drop down, palms are up, come out to the sides, and now palms down, elbows are leading as we cross squat down. So inhale and exhale. This is called rowing a boat. Straighten up, and then lifting a ball. Carry the moon. So for the ones we've done so far, these are all 6 times each. So it could be 6 times right and left. If they have a right and left side. Okay, so this brings us to halfway through the set. So I don't know, in the beginning, maybe 18 seems like a big number, but actually it kind of flows together so that it's not so complicated. You might find that. I hope that's the case. So we'll continue with this next week. Let me take a little time to talk about breathing. Let me get a chair here. So if you have a chair, you're good to sit down, or if you want, you can do this in your standing posture. So when we're sitting, I'll just slide back so I can show you the posture. You want to sit on the front edge of a chair, so that just your sits bones are on the chair. So I'll turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So the thighs are parallel to the ground, the lower legs are perpendicular. You can just rest the hands on the tops of the thighs or knees. So again, you're lifting gently from the top of the head, top of the chin. You want to have the back somewhat lifted, gently lifted, but you want to settle the chest. So this would be a posture you could use for meditation. There's flexibility with that. If you want to sit in a chair with a back, just make sure as best you can that you're kind of lifting through the spine, keeping the spine open and gently lifted. Okay, so just relax for a second, try to scan down through your body, try to feel where you might not be relaxing as much as you can, and just try to relax that. And just begin to pay attention to the breath. Feel your breath coming in and going out of your nose. You don't need to try to change the pace of it. Just try to notice what you're feeling. What do you feel in your nose? Is the breath going in or is it going out? Just pay attention to that. So this is kind of a progressive exercise that actually can go quite far and go through quite a number of steps. We'll be doing just enough, I think, that will help to enhance what we're doing with the Taiji Qigong 18 forms. So the next part would be to, as you're following the breath at your nostrils, go a little deeper into your nose, feel what's happening with the breath as it goes from the nostrils into the nose a little bit. And then a little deeper still into the nose. So feel the breath going out, coming in. When it comes in, does it feel warm or does it feel cool? When it goes out, does it feel warm? Does it feel cool? So see if you can feel the back of your nose, where the nose joins the throat. And then feel the breath go a little further down into the throat. So you might already notice the breath is starting to slow down. Okay, so we'll stop here, but I hope that we can pick this up and carry this a little further. This is a practice, this breathing practice is something that you can practice anytime, anywhere, pretty much, as long as you have a quiet moment. And it can be continued as a regular practice. There's more steps to this, and we'll develop that as we go. But there will be some skills that we're going to learn from this that will help with our Taiji Qigong set. So that's the goal of this, introducing this at this point. Okay, so that'll be all for today. I hope that you all stay safe during the weather. And I hope that you're able to find a way to practice. So at some future point, we'll be talking a little bit more in detail about practice, but practice what you remember at this point. Use the videos on the libraries, the public library, Brookline's YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and search for Public Library of Brookline, you'll find their channel. And so you should look for the videos, you know, the bald-haired, bearded guy. That's me. So you should look for those and use those to review. That's why we're putting them up and hoping that that can be a help to your learning this. So otherwise, we'll be seeing you next week. And I hope you're well and enjoy your practice. That'll be all for now.